So tell us about your story.
Okay, well, my story starts a little bit back, somewhat in childhood. When I grew up, there was a Quran in my home. So we had the Bible and the Quran side by side. Although it was a Southern Christian household, my father had a Quran, and it's the old school Quran, the green and gold with the gold pages from the
Yes.
Yusuf Ali version. And at that time, I read it, being a young man, about a teenager, it to me, it read like instructions. It read like instructions, whereas at the time, like for me, the Bible was somewhat kind of like story based, and whereas the Quran read like instructions. So I've always tried to compare the two, but at the time, the understanding didn't come. And then fast forward so many years into the future, I was in Iraq in 2003.
Oh,
And
right in the beginning.
yeah, right in the beginning. And so I made friends with a guy who owned an ice shop. And I asked him for a Quran for my uncle, because at the time my uncle was the only Muslim in the family. And so I asked him, I said, hey, if you guys can just, make a letter for my uncle. He's praying for you. He's making dua. He's wishing for peace, here in Iraq, and prosperity for the people. If you guys can just write a little note to him with the names in it, and with the Quran, with the Quran in Arabic, and I could send it to him. And so the next day, the gentleman came and said, hey, I have what you need. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't take it. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, I'm dirty. I haven't taken wudu. So before I could take it, and he's like, well, how do you know about wudu? And so
Yeah.
we had the discussion, and we had the discussions, and he was like, well, I don't get it. If you know all of these things, your uncle is a good Muslim, obviously, helped to raise a good boy, then why you're not Muslim?
Exactly.
And at that time, I couldn't give him an answer.
SubhanAllah,
Yeah.
there's a case right now at work. One of the staff,
Yes.
she loves Islam. I keep telling her, become Muslim. Oh, yeah, inshallah. She says,
Yes.
inshallah. I said, come on.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Yeah.
It's time.
But the thing is, I guess for some of us, even for me, I went through it. I don't know if it's a fear, but there's a hesitation to some extent about, I guess about letting go, letting go of the things of the dunya, or the things that you are attached to. Because, because thank Allah that I didn't pass away in this state of disbelief, because it's funny, I was listening to a lecture, and it was talking about how, the stories of the Quran constantly repeat themselves.
Yes.
And whenever I read, especially about the times of the Prophet, when you look at the people of Quraysh, and I see the people of Quraysh, and I see myself in how I used to be. So, when when people will say, hey, if you're so smart, then where's your gold? Where's your wealth? And so like in Quraysh, like, especially growing up in Brooklyn, New York, during those times, the people loved the poetry, they loved the eloquence, and you could raise your level in
exactly.
society. So growing up in Brooklyn, New York, we had rappers. It was the same thing. So we loved to hear the guys come out with their words and the rap music, and you would have guys who would be, not known one day, but elevated to another status the next.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.